In the beginning, education was about survival. Ancient people learned practical skills. They hunted, they farmed, they built shelters. Passing on this knowledge was vital. It ensured the continuation of their communities. Early civilizations developed formal systems. Schools in ancient Mesopotamia trained scribes. These scribes were essential. They kept records. They managed complex societies. In ancient Egypt, education focused on religion and the afterlife. Temples became centers of learning. The development of writing was revolutionary. It allowed knowledge to be recorded and shared. This was a turning point in human history. It paved the way for more complex forms of education. Ancient Greece gave rise to new ideas. Philosophy flourished. Great thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle emerged. They emphasized critical thinking, logic, and debate. These ideas influenced Western thought for centuries. Education in ancient Greece was often private. Wealthy families hired tutors. Physical education was also important. The Greeks believed in a sound mind, in a sound body. Athletics and intellectual pursuits went hand in hand. The Roman Empire adopted aspects of Greek education. They established grammar schools. These schools taught Latin, grammar, and literature. Romans valued practicality. They focused on training for citizenship and military service. The fall of the Roman Empire marked a turning point. Europe entered the Middle Ages. The Catholic Church became a dominant force in education. Monasteries preserved ancient texts. They also served as centers of learning for the elite. Education in the Middle Ages was often religious. Students learned Latin, theology, and philosophy. The Church established the first universities. These institutions were initially focused on training clergy. However, they gradually expanded their scope to include other subjects. The Islamic world experienced a golden age. Scholars made advancements in mathematics, science, and medicine. Centers of learning like Baghdad and Cordoba flourished. They preserved ancient Greek and Roman texts. They also translated them into Arabic, making them accessible to a wider audience. The Renaissance marked a renewed interest in classical learning. Humanism emerged as a new intellectual movement. It emphasized human potential and achievement. Education shifted from solely religious themes. It now encompassed art, literature, and the sciences. The invention of the printing press was revolutionary. It made books more widely available. This led to increased literacy rates. More people had access to knowledge. Education was no longer limited to the elite few. Renaissance thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo were not just artists. They were also scientists, inventors, and polymaths. Their work exemplified the Renaissance ideal of the universal man. Education was seen as a way to develop well-rounded individuals. Section 5. Enlightenment Ideals, Shaping Modern Education. The Enlightenment emphasized reason, logic, and individual liberty. Thinkers like John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau challenged traditional views on education. They argued that education should foster critical thinking and personal growth. Locke believed in the concept of a tabula rasa. He argued that the mind is a blank slate at birth. Education, he believed, shapes who we become. Rousseau emphasized the importance of experience and natural learning in his influential book, Émile. These Enlightenment ideas had a profound impact on the development of modern education. They led to calls for universal education, regardless of social class. They also sparked debates about the role of education in society and the importance of individual potential. Section 6. The Industrial Revolution, Education for a New Era. The Industrial Revolution brought about dramatic changes. Factories emerged, cities grew, the demand for skilled workers increased, education shifted to meet the needs of the industrial economy. Public schools became more widespread. They focused on basic literacy and numeracy skills. Vocational training also became important. Workers needed specialized skills. They learned to operate machinery. They learned trades. The Industrial Revolution led to the rise of mass education. However, it also exacerbated social inequalities. Access to quality education remained limited for the poor and working class. This period highlighted the need for greater educational equity. Section 7. Public Education for All, a Triumph of Democracy. The 19th and 20th centuries saw a push for universal public education. Reformers advocated for free and compulsory education for all children. They believed that education was essential for democracy and social progress. In the United States, Horace Mann became a leading advocate for public education. He believed that education was the great equalizer. Mann's efforts led to the establishment of public school systems in many states. Public education expanded access to learning for millions. It helped to create a more literate and informed citizenry. However, challenges remained in ensuring equal opportunities for all, regardless of race, gender, or socio-economic background. Section 8. Technology transforms learning, the digital revolution. The late 20th and early 21st centuries witnessed the rise of digital technologies. Computers, the internet, and mobile devices transformed how we access and process information. These technologies have had a profound impact on education. Online learning platforms and educational software have emerged. They provide personalized learning experiences. Students can learn at their own pace. They can access a wealth of information at their fingertips. The digital revolution has created new possibilities for education. However, it has also raised concerns about the digital divide. Not all students have equal access to technology and high-speed internet. Bridging this gap is crucial for ensuring educational equity in the digital age. Section 9. The future of education, embracing innovation and equity. The future of education is filled with both challenges and opportunities. The rapid pace of technological advancement requires constant adaptation and innovation in how we teach and learn. Personalized learning, blended learning models, and the use of artificial intelligence are just some of the trends shaping the future of education. Preparing students for a rapidly changing world requires cultivating creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. Above all, the future of education must prioritize equity and inclusion, ensuring that all learners have access to quality education regardless of their background is essential for creating a more just and equitable society. The journey of education continues, and its destination is a world where learning empowers individuals and transforms communities.